Hi everybody, hello. Sorry, I've got this like glow behind me because of the sunshine. I am sorry I'm a little bit late. I've come back from Brighton today. I was in the car with my husband, and I was thinking I'm going to be late. I'm going to have to do it in this car, and I was like, I can't do Backseat of Betsy from a Nissan. It's just not going to be the same. So a couple of minutes late, but I am in Betsy, which is the main thing. So today I'm going to be talking about mummy guilt, because I know there are a lot of mummies who feel guilty for one reason or another. And I personally experienced a lot of mummy guilt, which is why it's kind of my thing, because I don't want anyone else to go through what I did. So just to give you a bit of background, I felt guilty because I had to go back to work. I chose to go back to work, and Finn was 5.5 months. I'd been breastfeeding him, and when I was about to go back to work, I started expressing milk to give him in a bottle, and he wouldn't take it, not at all. He was just point blank refused, and I bought every single bottle, teat that I could find in order to get him to drink express milk from a bottle, and he wouldn't. So I had this unbearable situation where I had a start date for work. I dropped him off at nursery. Luckily he was having baby rice and puree, but I gave them my express milk and the bottle, and when I would pick him up they would say, no, he hasn't had any milk. And that, for a mother to not be able to provide your child with food, is just like agonizing. So I would be at work thinking he's not having any milk, and that was again another bizarre situation. I would be in the toilet at work trying to express milk. It was pretty awful, to be honest. We had no separate room, so I would just be leaning against the door with my pump trying to feel relaxed. Anyway, that's another story. But I was feeling incredibly guilty, and it seemed to spread. So things like I tried doing the pureed carrots and all that, sort of sticking it in the ice cube trays, but there were days when I didn't get round to it. There were days when I just used to get a jar of organic, albeit organic, but I'd get a jar of food from one of the local supermarkets, and then I would feel guilty. I'm not doing it properly. A good mum would do this, a good mum would be pureeing it. The disposable nappies, I tried cotton nappies, but Finn was getting nappy rash. I just had buckets of Milton infused cotton nappies all around the house. So I went back to disposable nappies, and again I felt bad because I was filling the planet with disposable nappies that would last for 200 years or whatever it is. So I experienced my fair share of mummy guilt, and I just don't want anyone else to experience what I did. So as before, what I'm going to say to you first is the reason why we need to get rid of mummy guilt. So for me, the biggest thing is it felt crap. You feel rubbish. You're weighed down with this burden of like, oh, I'm not doing a good job, or I could be doing it better. So physically it used to feel awful. Mentally it was occupying my mind. I would be at work thinking, oh, I'm a bad mum for being here, I should be with my kid. So physically, mentally, it was affecting me, and then I was compensating. It was affecting my parenting as well. So because I felt bad about going to work, I would buy Finn stuff. I would come home and I'd have a magazine for him, or a little toy, or a little treat. I was trying to make myself feel better about the choices I'd made by buying him stuff, or being extra lenient with my parenting. Oh yeah, you can stay up late and watch that cartoon because I feel bad because I went to work. So it really is no good for you. It's no good for your kids. So we need to ditch it. So the first thing to do is to draw a line in the sand and say, I am not doing that guilt thing, okay? And it is a decision. You just have to make that decision. The word decision comes from the root of Latin, which is to cut, and that's what you're doing. You're just saying, I'm not doing it anymore. And it really is as simple as that. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is as simple as that. Make that decision. The second thing is to look at the reason why you're feeling guilty, the triggers, and work out what it is exactly that's burdening you. So if it is going back to work, look at that choice that you've made and say, okay, I made the choice. Normally we don't make decisions that are really bad for us, you know. If it was normally we do things for the right reason. So if you have gone back to work, it's probably for economic reasons. You know, maybe you need the money for your mortgage. It could be for that you want stimulation. It could be that your career demands that you stay in touch or maintain some presence in the workplace. So look for the reason why you went back to work, and then see that as a benefit. Look at all the benefits to why you're doing it. Look at all the benefits of having your child at nursery, if that's the thing that makes you feel guilty. So for me, I just had to spin it a bit. You know, I knew that I wanted to work because I didn't want to be at home full time. That was my choice. I didn't really want to be a full-time mum. I enjoyed the stimulation, I enjoyed the salary. And then I looked at what Finn was getting from being at nursery. Now, okay, milk aside, he was actually creating bonds with his nursery carers. He was learning to be sociable. He was getting to do the most amazing play that I would never do. I can remember once going to an open day at the nursery, and they had these trays, and one was filled with shaving foam, one was filled with, I don't know, something else, maybe custard, I don't know. They were splashing around. They were just in their little nappies, all the babies, making a mess everywhere. I thought, that's not happening in my house. There's no way I'm making that mess. Another time they had oats all over the floor and they were just like rolling around in the oats. So he was experiencing things that I wasn't going to give him, you know, it wasn't kind of my thing. So I had to look at all those benefits. And the next step I would say is to just be incredibly grateful for where you are. You might think, oh, okay, I don't want to be at work because it's taking me away from my child. However, let's be thankful that we've actually got a job. Let's be thankful that we're paid. Let's be thankful that we've got a child. You know, there's a million ways to spin gratitude and being thankful for the situation you're in. So I hope that's helped. Just to recap, firstly, look at why you're feeling guilty and look at the effect it's having on you, both physically, emotionally, and in your behaviour for your children, how you're parenting. And then really look at the other side. Why did you make that decision? Why are you where you are? And is there another way of looking at it that lets you off the hook and doesn't make you feel guilty? So let me just go back to the pureed food example. So I felt bad because I was occasionally buying jars of food. So for me, okay, if I made that decision because I was time poor. If I flipped it over, okay, and I said, okay, instead of doing that, I am going to puree my food, but I'm going to be up till like 10 o'clock at night cooking. Is that really an option? No. So the best choice I can make is the one I've made, which is to go to the shop occasionally, buy some organic pureed food and just be happy with it, and then give myself that gift of going, it's okay, no judgment, you made the right choice. So that is my top tips, very abbreviated top tips on how to get rid of mummy guilt. Please be kind to yourself, let yourself off the hook and ditch the guilt, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll be back tomorrow, same sort of time, for spending quality time with your kids. And tomorrow I'll be telling you how you can find out more and work with me a bit more, if that would be of interest to you. Okay, have a fabulous afternoon, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.